Hello there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your September reading. I hope that your month is getting off to a really great start. I'd like to welcome back everybody that is a return viewer and send a special welcome to anybody that is brand new. Let me give you a quick introduction. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh, and the way that I organize my readings every month is as follows. I like to start off with some channeled information, and this is when I connect directly with spirit and bring through whatever I see, feel, or hear. Probably my favorite part of the reading because it's just raw intuition. After I do that, I like to use a full Celtic cross. This gives me a chance to see the highs, the lows, all the challenges and opportunities that are coming through for the month ahead. And after that, I expand the forecast to include health, wealth, love, and destiny. I've designed every reading so that you can use it for your sun, your rising, or for your moon. You can also watch on behalf of someone that you care about in your life. If you don't happen to know your sun, rising, and moon, then just stick with the sign that you were born under, and you'll get all of the information that you need simply by doing that. If you like what you see, and I hope you do because it's really a nice 365 view of everything that's coming through, then I encourage you to stick around until the end of the reading. In addition to giving you a nice concise review of everything that we talked about, I'll also let you know how you can get involved and give back to the channel if you'd like. This includes everything from, of course, liking and subscribing to booking an appointment, or if you'd like, you can also contribute. And I'll go into all the different ways you can become a patron at the end of the video. Right now, however, I know that you're excited about looking at this monthly forecast, so I'd like to expedite that and get straight into your channeled message for the month of September. This month, as I selected a deck of cards and I began to meditate on the imagery and energy for your sign, what came through for me first, visually speaking, was I saw these little puzzle pieces, and I wasn't focusing so much on the big picture. I was looking at each component in the meditation. And then I just sort of tuned into my body and I thought, how do I feel with what I'm seeing? And to me, it felt like there was a lot of pressure kind of pushing down on me. Almost as if I was like that character in the Ten of Wands where they're kind of bearing a heavy burden or a load, but there's also that sort of visual cue that they're almost there. Essentially, the key this month is to compartmentalize or to separate all of your tasks or responsibilities and deal with them in any way that feels like it's kind of digestible for you. And I would also say it's important to psych yourself into doing the task and think, I've got this. I captured this in automatic writing, which basically says one step at a time, don't get overwhelmed. And I think that this is key for life in general, but especially for what's going on for you this month. And as we look at the cards in a moment, I'll see where it is that you can possibly sort of deconstruct some of the overarching responsibilities or stress in your life and also decompress. And I think that that latter part is going to be really important because if you focus solely on the burden of doing something, you miss out on the blessings, on the experience, on the joy that can come from learning something new, working with people, solving something, realizing your own strength. There's a lot of things that you could be celebrating on this journey this month. And ultimately, the message here is that it's all about empowerment. Another mental image that comes through is like trying to eat an entire sandwich at once. You're going to miss out on all of the chewing, all the flavors, all the wonderful ingredients. That's what your month is made up of. Take it one bite at a time, savor every moment. Some bites are going to be better than others, but overall, this is going to be something that is helping you become a better person. So you have to take it in those small pieces and really understand and absorb all of that information. If you're in a relationship and you're experiencing challenges, this one step at a time is also really important because it's showing that the two of you are going to have to meet halfway. You probably have to work with a therapist and just try to gently and persistently work at improving your relationship. It can also factor into overcoming an addiction or any sort of pattern in your life that you want to try to reverse. Remember to be patient, remember to have fun, and try to see each thing as a little puzzle piece. And as you start to connect everything, you're going to see the progress that you're making, you're going to feel better, and at the end, you're going to see that this work was all worth it. And hopefully, as you get through this month, the lesson will be that you can handle anything that comes your way as long as you don't panic, okay? At this point, let's go ahead now and take a look at the cards. I'm going to pull a full Celtic cross as well as the expanded forecast here. So as I'm pulling all of the cards and laying things out, I'm going to remain quiet. This allows me not only to observe the placement, but also to receive information about what each card is meaning. After I do that, I'll pull each and every card up and relate it to your messages for the month ahead. For your catalyst card, we've got the octopus, but notice that it is in reverse. For me, this is the sort of quintessential multitasking symbol, but when it's reversed, it shows that you might need to ask for some assistance, that delegation is absolutely going to be your friend this month. And that if you spread yourself too thin, you're going to have a difficult time making any progress. So try to kind of focus on one thing. And this reminds me a lot of the Eight of Wands, which can show a lot of things going on in your life. But if it's reversed, it kind of gets unwieldy. So I think the main thing for you to do is to sort of sift through everything that you're paying attention to this month and think, what's going to really be worthy of my time? Where can I make the most impact? And if there's something that is either not engaging, is no longer something that you really need to be doing, or is simply just a distraction, then you need to either sort of push back, cut that out, or somehow delegate it so that you can focus. Also, looking at your environment, the same thing holds true. Any sort of distractions, anything that's pulling you away from your task at hand, that needs to be reined in, okay? The octopus is fine, but not when it's reversed. Things are a little unwieldy, so you know what to do as far as your focus, your energy, and also just, as I said, delegation. As we move along to the center card, we have the Ten of Wands, which was something that I was referencing when we were talking about the channeled information. I'm really happy that you have a visual just in case you didn't know what the card looked like, and let's kind of deconstruct the symbology here. First of all, the Ten of Wands is a card of experience. You can view those wands as skills that you have in your tool set, or your toolkit, I should say, that are going to help you accomplish anything that you need. Maybe it took a lot of work and a lot of time, maybe more than you thought it would, to get those skills. But now that you have them, you can do anything that you want with them. The other thing that it shows is how hard and how far you have worked to come to this point in time, and really what little distance you have to get to your destination. So it's very much a card of encouragement, and that's what I was trying to do at the beginning, was to kind of push you. Don't give up, keep moving, and if anything, see what you can do to kind of take one of these responsibilities, that can also indicate things that you have to do, at a time, rather than feeling like everything is kind of weighing you down. You know what you need to do, you know how to do it, so now it's just a matter of taking it step by step, item by item, and making it happen. One final note with the Ten of Wands is that it can indicate travel or a move, and we have death reversed here in the recent past, which I'll be talking about in just a moment. But for some of you, that means that something has to come to a close this month in order to make room for something new. And I actually see growth when it comes to your money, so I'm not overly concerned about that. But I just wanted to spotlight that some of you could be having a move, a work-related transfer, or some sort of major shift in your life that's requiring you to go from one place to another. So it can also be read in a sort of a literal sense as well. Crossing this card, we have the Queen of Swords. I like this because it's a card of being proactive. It's also about taking action and speaking your mind. When the card is upright, there's very little to say negatively about the Queen of Swords. All of the things that I just mentioned are, I think, positive attributes. The other thing is that it's the power of spoken and written words this month that are going to be your friend and also help you get forward. So if you do need assistance, then talk to somebody. You are convincing, you are able to sort of bring those people in with what I'm seeing here. I also see that you have a really big social reach that seems to want to come through this month. So really the onus is on you to say what you need. And as long as you do that in a way that is clear, that is kind, that is engaging, then the people are going to be there and you're going to be able to make things happen, which is great. Some of you have been experiencing a little bit of a breakdown in communication. This is showing up in your deep past. A lot of times when I see the Five of Swords, it's difficult to win an argument with someone when I see this kind of card coming through. And it's almost as if you're being forced to take a side, or you're kind of being painted into a corner and there's no way for you to really negotiate. If this is a business partner, a partner in love, or a friend, then what I'm seeing here is that one or both of you maybe has just outgrown this relationship. I mentioned that it is possible to go through counseling and take it one step at a time. But what I'm looking at when I look at recent past is perhaps you're just ready to move on. And sometimes that's okay. We shed our skin, sort of metaphorically speaking, and energetically especially, as we grow. And when we kind of raise up one frequency, what happens in our friend group, in our family group, and even in a professional atmosphere is that people around us are challenged then to either meet us at the new frequency or they fall out, or we feel the tension and we may even initiate a sort of a breakup or an argument that will allow us to separate. So it's not always that you're failing at a relationship. It may be that you learned everything that you needed to from a friend, from a lover, from someone in your life, and now you're ready to sort of graduate and move on. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with the Five of Swords here. I would say the other thing here is to not second guess your own instinct, because a lot of times, not so much in this card, but you'll see someone looking over their shoulder, trying to sort of make everybody happy. And in this case, I think you know what you have to do and the other person knows what they have to do. And even if we're looking at you and even a work situation where it's not necessarily a personality, but like an environment, it feels like there's something stagnating or toxic that you need to let go of. This is the month to do it. It's okay. It's going to allow you to grow and experience new things. So on to recent past. Death reversed often for me means stagnation. So what you want to do this month is make sure that you pay attention to this, because if not, what can stem out of a death reverse card that's ignored or swept under the rug can be a tower, can be a 10 of swords, can be a devil. So this month you have a chance to rebuild. And the death card, much like the tower card when it's in reverse, means that you have some power, some warning, and some capability to use that to mold and shape your current situation and your future situation. So I see this very much as a blessing. You know what needs to happen. It's just a matter of activating that Queen of Swords energy that we see at the center and having the guts and the sort of oomph to go through with it, which we see with the 10 of Wands. This is literally picking up and moving. So you can do it. The cards are supporting it, and I wish you good luck on that case if that's happening. Or I should say in that case if that's happening. Now, the death reverse card can also indicate something that took longer than expected to wind up. This could be, if you're working for a company, there could have been a buyout or a bankruptcy or even a merger, and it just took a long time, and it's finally winding up this month. You could also have someone in your life that's been going through a really difficult health situation, and either they've overcome it, or with the death card, it often means that they could be transitioning as well, and you might be suffering a loss in your life. Definitely take care of yourself. And this is part of the reason that I think that one step at a time can also mean grief and adjustment. Whether you could also just be grieving the loss of like a house or a place of work. And so if something like that falls out of your life, it's every bit as impactful and sometimes even as painful as losing someone in your life, because it's a piece of your identity. And now what you're going to have to do is sort of regroup and decide, who am I now? What do I want to become? And what am I going to do with the month ahead? In your crowning position, we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And that kind of comes as an answer to what I was just saying. What do you do with this month? This is a very self-focused lens, if you will. And it also has a lot to do with house and home. So interesting that I just mentioned that. Also interesting that we have the 10 of Wands, which can show shifting or movement with your place of living. So you might be, for those of you in school, it could be graduation and getting out into your first house. It can also be selling a house because this card is reversed, or buying it. The only thing that I'm seeing with buying it is that the price seems too high. This is not the right time to go into buying something unless you have to, unless it's related to a job transfer. And maybe you can negotiate something with your employer to see if they can offset the cost of moving, maybe pay for the move at least or something like that, or help you with the purchase of a house, maybe get a signing bonus, etc. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse is also saying that you want to be fiscally responsible this month. It's something that I've seen across almost every single sign. So this is not a month to make big purchases. And for some of you, I do see shifting out of a job because we have death, the 10 of Wands, and now a Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So basically, take it easy, don't overspend, and don't kind of panic if you go through one of these shifts, because I do see that money is going to work out. It looks like there are more opportunities on the horizon, and it's important to just sort of refocus, regroup, and really try to create that plan of attack on how you're going to find the next thing, okay? For those of you already in a job, it really comes through more as stagnation, maybe not having enough appreciation or enough money, and we can talk more about that in a moment. In the near future, we have the Knight of Wands, and it is in the upright position. So this is where, for some of you, an opportunity could come to you, or an idea could come to you. The thing that I see with this idea, because we look at the ego here and it's attached to this idea, we have the 6 of Pentacles. And I would just say make sure that if you're going to start something new, that you have the foundation that you need to make that happen. And it may be something that you sort of moonlight in first. So you keep your day job, you start up a company, you partner up with somebody, and then once that sort of gains traction, you already have your plan B. One thing that's really important to talk about with this is that I see a slightly unbalanced sort of partnership here, and that may be by design, but I just want to highlight that. Six of Pentacles for me is typically like a 60-40 split, and I see different roles within the partnership. For those of you that are seeking a partnership, we have a Queen of Wands reversed, and we have the Knight of Wands. If you're on the 60% side, I would hope that you're actually engaging with this sort of energy, the bossy card, the Queen of Wands reversed. This is the one that all the clients see. This is the one that's on the website. It might even be the name to the business. This could be the person that's sort of feeding the ideas, but is behind the scenes. If you're on the 40% side, you may be absolutely comfortable with just being the ideas person. I just want to make sure that you hammer all of that out, especially when it comes to contracts. And I mentioned that underappreciation bit. If you're coming up with ideas, you might need more of a 50-50 split, or you might need to be the 60% and you hire a project manager or someone that will help with some of the client-facing interfacing. But I think it's important for you not to miss out on getting properly compensated. And if you're in an existing job, let's take away this partnership scenario. Let's say you are at work and you're just not getting the pay that you need. I do feel like the place that you're at is either manager heavy and they don't have room, and that's part of why the stagnation card is coming through, or your boss really isn't seeing your capability, or they're possibly even taking some of your ideas and using them as your own. In any of those scenarios, then it makes sense for you to start to look for new places to work, new ways to kind of work through that. And I think you have to be really careful on how much you share with someone like that, because obviously they're not advocating for you. On the bright side, your outcome card this month is the Nine of Pentacles. So what I see ultimately with this is that you are navigating your way towards fiscal independence, towards autonomy and being self-sufficient. So as you figure out and get the landscape, a view of what's going on, you'll know, do you want to stay? Do you want to leave? And I honestly feel like you can take an opportunity and really run with it, whether it's your own business, a future partnership, or even if you want to try to push through what's going on at this company, then I still see you landing in a successful place. In that case, however, I actually think you're going to transfer to a different division, because the management that I'm seeing around you doesn't feel like it's all that great. And when I'm looking at the 10 of Wands at the center, it would seem like you would have to look for something maybe in a different part of the country that you're in, or a different part of the world. So if you're going to stay put, look at transferring. If you're going to try to start your own business, don't quit your job immediately. Start the moonlighting, start doing this on the side and moonlight. And then once you have a substantial sort of traction going there, then you can enter into that. And if you do enter into a partnership, make sure you're happy with what role you're playing and how much publicity and also payment you're getting. And finally, if you're going to look for a new job, you want to step up. I feel like the next job needs to be either more responsibility or more pay, because that's where this is going. And when I'm looking at hopes, fears, and possibilities, the Two of Pentacles is showing me that you're kind of over this phase of living paycheck to paycheck, or feeling like you don't have the resources to do what you want to do. So your future is Nine of Pentacles. You're going to be more independent, you're going to have more wealth, and part of that is seeing that and believing that, feeling that worth within you, so that either as you have a conversation with your boss, as you go and set up a business, or as you get a loan to create your own business, or when you interview for the next job, people see that and then reward you. So I'm feeling good about the future for you overall, but one of the requisite pieces of this is quitting, moving, creating something new, or really lobbying for something higher. The work situation has to shift a little bit. A lot of times people will ask, what if I'm retired? This can be about also kind of reducing one of your outputs here. So like the Queen of Pentacles in reverse can be selling a property, liquidating that, and then reinvesting it, because this is about balancing a portfolio. And for me, this is about kind of sitting on that money for a little bit. I'm not seeing a new purchase come through. And I think that's smart right now, because when you look at the global economy, it's a little bit of a mess. It's something that I even saw back when I was doing the year at a glance readings. I had a feeling that there was going to be a lot of erratic ups and downs this year, and there has been. So this is not the time right now. You want to kind of see how this all settles and and what happens on a global perspective as well as a national perspective wherever you're living. And I think that's going to be the best piece of advice I could give you with that. Be conservative, save, and if you need to divest something, that's fine. But I do see the potential for taking a slight loss. So you really have to sort of weigh everything out and think, is it going to be more expensive to keep paying taxes on something versus selling it and then investing this in something that is secure? You have a lot of things that you're probably going to have to work out with a financial advisor in that situation, okay? Let's go ahead now and expand your forecast. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny to get some more clarity on everything that we just talked about. As I look at each of these components, they're multifaceted. To begin with the health one, I just want to remind you, it's not just the body. Actually, over the past year, I've been noticing a shift in the readings. It's more about how you feel, what's going on in your life, and what's going on in your environment. So let's see what your message is for health this month. Very interestingly enough, here we have the World card. And just like the Tarot World card, this Oracle one is functioning in very much the same way. This is showing ends and beginnings. So what does that mean for you this month? It means that this is a perfect time for you to decide to start something new. Start a new fitness routine, to change your diet. It is also showing that the changes going on in your life are directly affecting your health. Because we have two of the sort of like most major change cards that I could have here. The Ten of Wands, that's showing movement. The Death card, absolutely, loss, change, transformation. And so as you work through some of these things, it could be creating stress. That's what I felt at the beginning. I was feeling it in my shoulders. It was kind of like I was wearing a really heavy backpack and it was weighing down on me. So if that's the case, take care of yourself. Do something to relieve that stress. Talk to someone, get a massage, check everything out with your doctor, make sure that you're okay, and then create better habits this month. But I have to say, with this being in health, I'm seeing for many of you that a move is either happening right now or it's on the horizon. So embrace that, and in many ways that can be like a clean slate. Anything that was kind of holding you back in an old environment, you can now completely let go of it. It's like, again, shedding a skin, and you can reinvent yourself somewhere else, which can be really kind of invigorating. Let me just look at the cards and see if I get some additional cues on health. I mentioned Ten of Wands, which can be not only sort of tension, but how you're holding things or lifting things. So Ten of Wands, for those of you that might be doing manual labor, is really kind of a card of caution. So if you're lifting heavy things, make sure that you're supporting your body properly. Again, talk to a supervisor and probably a doctor to make sure that you are understanding how to carry the weight properly. I mentioned this earlier, but Death Reverse can show that some of you either overcame a loss in your life. You may have also had a really difficult health situation that is nearly finished, but you might be dealing with either some of the stress associated with fighting that. That could be a chronic disease or an illness or something that required a significant amount of energy to work through. And this is a month for sort of continuing that detox level that you've been doing, detoxification. And so make sure you're drinking enough water and taking care of yourself and doing follow-ups as necessary with your doctor. The fact that I'm seeing so many different Pentacles cards, the Queen reversed, the Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles, for me that can show erratic sort of diet or exercise routines. And I think it's really important this month to be consistent, to be healthy, and to make sure that everything that you're eating is properly fueling you. So sometimes this can show skipping a meal or eating junk food. Something's off a little bit with the diet. So if you need to, talk to your doctor or a nutritionist. I've also seen a trend with that this month. It seems like self-care is sometimes going by the wayside, so I really want you to focus on that. As we move along to your wealth message, just like health, there are many different factors that I look at with this. First of all, it's not just opportunities that are coming to you, but it's also how you feel about yourself and how that either attracts or pushes away these sorts of opportunities. So when I see a card like Show Appreciation and it's reversed, this is actually kind of like in a reflexive context. So do you appreciate who you are? And are you sort of giving yourself credit for things? Because if you're not, this is why other people may not be seeing you as a strong person or may not be rewarding you in the way that you should be, because I see you as bringing a lot to the table. But something's off a little bit when it comes to either how much money you're making or how satisfied you are with what you're doing. So give yourself credit for what you're doing. And then the other thing, of course, if we were to flip this card around, it also is saying to say thank you and to praise people in your life, because some of what I'm reading here could also be pointed towards you. So when I see the Queen of Wands in reverse, it can be someone who's kind of closed off, not seeing people, not saying thank you, and not realizing that the same things that I just mentioned could be happening to people that are working under you, children that may be under your charge, employees, friends, anybody that's around you. If they don't hear, I appreciate you, thank you, I love you, some sort of form of authentic appreciation, then it starts to create tension. And that's also why we saw death reverse. It can cause a breakdown in relationship health. And so this month you have a chance to remedy that. And this is going to help you get ahead, because people enjoy being around someone who is a team player, is recognizing that everybody's bringing something to the table. And really that appreciation, that gratitude, that joy is what's going to call in people that are existing in that same energetic space. If you're in a sort of toxic environment right now, I mentioned that some of you just may not feel attached or satisfied or fulfilled with what you're doing, then love yourself and appreciate yourself enough to find something better. That's the other message here. Let's move along now to love. The message this month is to forgive, basically. We have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning into your life. And so this could be someone that you are estranged from, someone that you thought you were never going to see again. And it may have even felt like, a physical death when that person stepped away. This month it may be difficult, but you have a chance to repair. And even if this is more of a metaphysical thing, you may, in your mind, finally sort of look at that person and think, it's okay if it didn't work out. It's okay if I didn't get to say everything. You don't have to be face to face to have a reconciliation or a forgiveness happen. And in fact, if someone did pass away, maybe it was a parent or a friend or a loved one, and the relationship was contentious and it was difficult at the time, a lot of times after time passes, you realize, okay, I see my part in that, I see their part, and it's a lot easier for you to really make peace with that and let go. As I looked at this card, I was reminded of something that I saw on a recent walk, which was a tree that had been supported when it was a sapling, but I think it just got kind of abandoned and people forgot about the tree, and the string that was holding it kind of tight and upright, now the bark around that string has sort of created a scar, and now you can sort of see this lip forming, and it's trying to grow around the string, and the string is kind of attached and strangling the tree a little bit. And what happens when you hold on to somebody in the past, it's like you have a lasso around them. And if you imagine that as the energetic cord, you're kind of suffocating them a little bit, but the lasso is attached to you too. So the two of you are in this sort of stranglehold, and you're not allowing one another to breathe freely, to grow freely, and your heart can't open and expand as much as it needs to. This month, I want you to let go of that. Maybe at one point you needed that to sort of have an identity or to maybe feel better about the situation. It was easier to put them in a place of blame or just to feel negatively towards them. But now I want you to realize you're like the tree, and if you don't remove the cord, then you're going to have these sort of energetic scars, and you're not going to be able to fully expand and grow, just like that trunk couldn't become as strong as it could. So this month, by forgiving that person, you dissolve that connection, and both of you can heal and become fully independent, happy people. And that's really what the Nine of Pentacles is about too. This is going to bring you more wealth opportunities in your life because you're not spending that energy. Even the thought, I hate you, that thought, which is a low frequency, by the way, when you send that thought to somebody, you're giving away energy. It's sort of like a pool that has a leak in the lining. It's never going to be able to hold its full capacity. You could have a hose that sits there and tries to fill it all day, and it's just going to leak and make a mess. If you can release that feeling of sadness, hatred, fear, frustration, whatever it is that's connecting you to that person, and just think, I release you. It's okay. I learned from you. Thanks for the lesson. I'm ready now to move forward. You start to patch that up. You start to allow them to heal. And then they're not going to be as angry. They're not going to hurt as many people. They're not going to hurt. They actually might start to feel good thoughts about you. And then you're creating a positive feedback loop, which is going to be the reverse of what we just talked about. It's going to fill both of you up. You're going to feel joy. You're going to attract better situations in your life. And basically, you're gifting each other this wonderful energy, which is freedom. As we look at your destiny card this month, the message was reversed, but I need to turn it up right so we can read it. It says, spend more time outdoors. For me, this is actually a card of space, of distance, and also of shifting your environment a little bit. So when we look at the 10 of Wands card here at the center, some of you are ready to take a trip. And this can be going on a picnic, going camping, taking a walk outside. Connecting with nature is going to be essential to clearing your mind. It could also help facilitate this forgiveness that we see here. It could also be part of like an off-site adventure that you're going to do to learn something new, or maybe going to like a retreat of some sort where you're going to heal and learn something like yoga. That's fantastic. And again, I just feel like some of you might be moving and deciding to maybe pick a new place that is more connected with nature. So I see the outdoors being very healing for you, and perhaps even connected with a place of employment or a place of residence. So getting outside or being more connected to nature, definitely part of your overarching theme this month. So see how that factors in for you. The other thing here, again, is just going outside of your normal thought process. When I see anything that's showing expansion or movement, that's another place where I see it. So open your mind to new thoughts. And I think that wraps up everything for this month. So what I'd like to do at this point is review what we've talked about, and then I will leave you with a closing word. Your channeled message this month is to take things one step at a time, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed. Something that I picked up on in the channeled meditation, and also it came through here. I had that feeling of the 10 of Wands, and I feel like some of you might just be focusing so much on the overall responsibilities or what's ahead of you that you're forgetting to kind of take a deep breath and enjoy this journey as you're moving through it. Part of the way that you can ask for help or create some sort of balance is simply to reach out. We see all of these arms on the octopus. Sometimes you feel as if you need or have to sort of carry the load yourself. The reversal of this is saying to let go a little bit and to remember that there are people that love and care about you, and it's important to make some smart choices. It's interesting because I didn't go into great depth what the 6 of Pentacles meant earlier in respect to just your time and energy management. That's why it's good to stick around until this review. I'd like to talk about it here. When it comes to time, energy, or money, the 6 of Pentacles basically conveys that you have exactly what you need so long as you don't overextend, and basically that you make some difficult choices. So this means saying no occasionally. It can also be simply avoiding unnecessary splurges or distractions. As you can see with the people that are asking for help, the most difficult thing to do here is simply to deny somebody that's really close to you. It could be a family member, a child, a close friend. And what you want to try to do is say maybe not now, or how about later, or next week. You can basically push back a little bit. It doesn't have to be a hard no. It's all about balance. We see that again with the 2 of Pentacles here. Ultimately, this is going to be really important for your overall success and independence. And when people learn that you do have limits, it's going to set up a really good precedent for you. Your center card is the 10 of Wands, which is showing that you're making great progress. And it's really an encouragement card more than anything, because you've come so far. We see the end in sight here, so the message is don't give up. Remember, you can ask for help, you can delegate, you don't have to carry this burden alone. With the Queen of Swords crossing that card, it's really just important to keep the lines of communication open, to be direct, and not to be afraid to ask questions as well if you need help. With the 5 of Swords upright here, what we're really seeing is a possible breakdown in communication. We do have really, 2 difficult personalities here that I'm seeing. Queen of Pentacles reverse, this is someone who is really focused on their own wants and needs. Queen of Wands reverse, this is someone who is really focused on doing things a certain way. And neither side wants to give here. So whether this is 2 distinct personalities that you're dealing with, or one of these cards represents you and another person, this is where it's going to be difficult, and there may need to be a mediation in between these 2 people. So that's what I'm seeing here with the Knight of Wands. And there has to be give and take, which is what we see with the 6 of Pentacles. So this is a case where you probably need to lean on someone else to resolve this issue. Otherwise, what we see here is a natural sort of parting of the ways with the Death card reversed. Death reverse can also show a move that's coming through, something that we see with the 10 of Wands, or that some of you might be transitioning out of a job. Basically, there is change that is imminent. Because it's reversed, however, there is a choice in the matter, and there's really a decision on your part about what you want to keep in your life, what you want to fight for, and that's a decision only you can make this month. As we look at the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, this is a time when you can decide to invest a little bit on yourself. And as we looked at your wealth card, some of this appreciation could actually be just deciding I'm going to take care of myself, I'm going to take a break, I'm going to learn something new. Self-development seems to be something that is opening up for many of you. And as we look at the death card, that makes sense because you might be making room for something new in your life and you had to sacrifice something in order to make that happen. Knight of Wands in the upright position is showing movement when it comes to work. An opportunity could come to you, or you could be pitching an idea, maybe a new business or a product idea to someone else. Remember what we said here about the 60-40 split and also the difference of personalities. Make sure that you are happy with whoever you're deciding to work with, and make sure that the compensation is just. And again, this holds true whether it is a partnership or a brand new job, or you're deciding to kind of step up and try to get a new job within your company. Remember what I said earlier, though, that this is probably going to require a transfer or a move, because it does seem like your immediate manager or supervisor seems to be unwilling or incapable of sort of seeing where you can grow. As we look at your finances this month, I feel like you're in an okay position. You don't want to stretch things too much. You really want to be focusing on a conservative approach at keeping what you have and building more. Queen of Wands in reverse, great card for management, but you do want to be mindful of not trying to sort of overstep your bounds. Wait for people to ask for help. This is both because you're going to really create sort of a stronger workforce underneath you if you're a manager, but also because you have to decide how to spend your time and energy. If you are dealing with the Queen of Wands, the same thing is true. Is this a battle you feel like fighting? Because this person can be very difficult to negotiate with. As we look at your hopes and fears, we have the Two of Pentacles. But the thing is, as we look at the outcome, it's the Nine of Pentacles. So I actually feel like your finances are headed in the right direction. It's really just a matter of time and resource management this month. As we move along to health, big changes are happening this month. We have the World card, which can show that some of you might be dealing with both the excitement and the stress associated with a move. So make sure that that is something that you're paying attention to. The World card is also when you want to create something brand new in your life. So whether that's deciding to learn something new, deciding to change your diet and your fitness routine, or let go of some sort of a habit that isn't suiting you any longer, this is a great time to make those big shifts in your life. With wealth, there is a two-sided message coming through for this. The first is that you want to show self-appreciation. We'll make this card reflexive since it was reversed. Appreciate all that you have to offer, knowing that that self-confidence and self-worth will directly relate to how people treat you and ultimately compensate you. The same is true if you're in a position of power or authority. Make sure you say thanks to people in your company or in your family. As we look at what's coming through for love, it's all about forgiveness. Going back to that sort of image that I talked about with the tree that can be sort of cut out when that string is suffocating it. If you can let go of the pain and at least forgive yourself or learn from the situation, that then can be sort of healing energy that you send both to yourself and to the other person. And maybe you'll receive love and forgiveness right back. And finally, there's a message here to get outside, to change your scenery. And I think for many of you, this could be an overdue vacation, or we even mentioned like an offsite, something that allows you, or retreat, something that allows you to sort of reset, reboot, and be around like-minded individuals. This is really gonna help you from a mind, body, and spirit perspective, reset, and again, focus on your personal development, your self-worth, knowing that that ultimately is gonna be the key to your success. So this brings your monthly reading to a close. I hope you got exactly what you needed in the way of guidance, and also just really feel empowered to make the decisions that are right for you. That's what this is all about every single month. If you ever want some clarity on something that we talked about today, or perhaps there's something going on in your life and you would like to talk about that on a one-on-one basis, feel free to reach out to me. The way that you can book an appointment is by clicking on the first card in the video or the first link right below it. This will take you to my booking site where you can check out my rates and availability. If that makes sense, I look forward to talking to you. Otherwise, I said earlier that everything that you see here is viewer and fan supported. So the way that you could give back and help support future videos just like this is by clicking on that second card and second link. This will take you to a part of my website where you can give a contribution. This can be one time and it can be as small as $1. That really does make a big impact. It helps me continue to buy cool cards. It also helps me set up time on my calendar, and it's the latter that is really important because these videos typically take about a day a piece to produce and to edit and to put online. So your contributions help me block out those 12 days a month that I need to do this. So to everybody that has done that in the past, this batch was made possible by you. And if you'd like to help me make the next batch of videos possible, please feel free to click that link. And again, you can do either Patreon, one-time contribution, you can click the join button here, and all of that is detailed on that page. So second card, second link. The third way that you can give back is really easy, and it just involves a few clicks, but nonetheless really helps the channel. If you haven't already liked this video or subscribed to the channel, I would love for you to do that right now. I know a lot of you also want to know when I post videos. Click on that bell icon and you'll get an individual email that lists all of the videos when I post them. It's super helpful. You can also join my newsletter or join me on social media. The way that you can do that is by clicking the third link or the third card. And once you do that, you'll be taken to a page on my website where you can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my newsletter as well. So I hope you do that, and feel free, by the way, to share this on your own social media feeds. I love it when people retweet what I've put out on Twitter or share my Facebook post on their feed as well. So just want to say thank you so much. Instagram stories are great too. This really helps me get my word out there, and my goal on the planet is to help people, to make more light workers out there, to really allow all of us to take that light within and have it shine, and also to have just some smart, intelligent conversations about spirituality. And so when you do a simple like, share, and subscribe, all of that happens. And so from my heart to yours, I just want to say thank you so much. Now I'd like to give you your closing word, and I keep looking at this octopus. So what's cool about this is I feel like you have so much that you can do this month. And I think that all that is really important for you is to focus, to concentrate. And I think what I'm seeing with some of these cards here, especially like the world one here in the health card, is to get out and explore a little bit. I think for you, it would be really effective and also really healthy for you to just sort of change your location. And whether that is a business trip, an offsite, or some sort of a vacation, you deserve it. It's going to help you quite a bit. And I would love for you this month to sort of think of what your plan B or plan C is in respect to your career or your life purpose. Sometimes we kind of get wrapped up in what we're doing right now. I want you to be proactive this month actually, and think about, all right, I'll finish what I'm doing, but what is the big purpose and how does this all connect together? And when you have that long-term vision, you're going to be better able to ration and sort of juggle your resources so that you're not constantly feeling like you're being pulled in two different directions. That's your closing word for this month, and I just like to end with a little bit of gratitude. Thank you again for allowing me to be a part of your journey and talk to you for the past 40 minutes or so. You have so many choices here on YouTube and also in life. The fact that you allowed me to be present and to help you through this, it means a lot, and it really humbles me. So thank you. I'll see you again in 1 month's time. In the meantime, I'm wishing you happiness, health, abundance, and I hope that you're kind to yourself and others as well. Take care. See you soon.